What's up everybody, CouchMills here, coming at you with a brand new Overwatch video, and in this video we need to break down Overwatch 1.5, or as it's normally called, Overwatch 2. We need to talk about the game, the state of it, things that they did right and wrong, what is the future and new updates coming soon, and ultimately answer the question, is this really even an actual sequel? There's a lot we gotta break down and talk about, but let's jump right in. Now I know that many of you have been grinding incredibly hard this spring to reach your all-time peak, but you're getting a little musty, and here to help is our returning Manscaped partnership. Now Manscaped sent us an all-new package that includes things like the deodorant and body wash, and even this really fucking good lip balm. I'm serious. You can get the Performance Package 4.0 that comes with waterproof shavers and trimmers, everything you need from all-in-one shampoos, conditioners, to body washes, and more accessories like these. And here's the thing, I'm gonna be real with you guys for a second. It's super easy for you to just neglect your physical and mental health. As guys, it happens all too often. But really, if you're not physically feeling good, you're not gonna mentally feel good as well. And Manscaped has everything you need so that you're at the top of your game. What are you waiting for? Use code MILFS20 at the Manscaped checkout for 20% off your order and free shipping. Go check it out in the links right now down below. Now, Overwatch 2, the beta launch went rather successfully at the start. It surpassed all records on Twitch, tons of people were in there for the drops, and overall, the game launched pretty well, or at least the beta did, with a lot of people trying the game out and playing the game. And while us and many others thought that this would be the start of basically an entire rebirth of the Overwatch franchise, it didn't really turn out that way, with people leaving and flocking away from the game already, and numbers already dwindling as far as the game is concerned. But what actually caused this? Is this cause for alarm? And is Overwatch 2 already doomed? Well, the first thing that we need to talk about is the fact that this is kind of a sequel. It's almost a big add-on or expansion, something very similar to Fortnite Part 2, or various updates that have happened where the game fundamentally changes in a lot of ways, but it's not really a new game. Now, if Overwatch 2 came with all of the bells and whistles of the campaign type mode and the full game with a whole bunch of characters, maybe it would feel a lot more like a sequel, but in the beta, it doesn't really feel all that different. A lot of people are making memes on Twitter talking about how we got a freaking color change. Every single map seems to look like it's nighttime or it's in the evening. It's Overwatch, quote, 6 hours later, but in reality, the game did change a lot, right? We got a whole bunch of balance changes, and that's the biggest one. Not only did we go down to 5v5, but the balance of a ton of characters are way different. The way that they approach design philosophy is basically the way that I wish they have been approaching Overwatch since the start, since forever. I don't know who's really in charge here. I'm sure it's a number of different people, but this team would never put us in GOATs for goddamn a year. I know that for a fact, based on the way that they're balancing these abilities and changing things to be more mechanically skill intensive. It seems like this is an amazing step in the right direction, something I always wanted with Overwatch 1, but the reality is, we never got it with Overwatch 1, and this game feels like everything that Overwatch 1 should have been, and it doesn't really necessarily feel like an entirely new game. Now, I'm not complaining here. I love the way that the game is moving, and I do think that overall, this is a really good start for a beta, and I do think that one of the biggest reasons, and one of the biggest reasons that not only me, but many of the other streamers and just players in general aren't grinding the game, is that there's no comp. There's no competitive mode right now. And I understand this is a beta. There's not going to be comp in every single beta, but that gives a lot of people reason to grind, especially when it's not like when Overwatch 1 dropped in the beta, right? No one knew what was going on. Everything felt so fresh and it was just fun to grind. But when this just feels like an extension of Overwatch, people want to do what they've always done, which is just grind. Like, we know the game. We're not going to be wowed by watching a Genji Dragonblade for the first time. We know what a fucking Dragonblade looks like. We want to apply all of these new things to see how far we can climb, see how we stack up against the competition. And of course, us being a guides channel basically doesn't even need to exist if there's not a comp. If there's no reason to actually get better, or there's no even metric to judge yourself skill-wise compared to other people, there's no point in improving, right? Now, I am incredibly happy with the way that they have already patched the game so quickly. A whole bunch of changes just went through, and it's really surprising that they did that so quickly, because a lot of games just would take a while, and I really feel like Overwatch used to take forever. But the fact that they did that so quickly based on community feedback, that is a good sign, and it is a step in the right direction. But realistically, there's a lot of work that needs to be done to actually make Overwatch feel like a real sequel. Not only do we need a multitude of new maps, like we got a few, but we need a lot. We need a lot of characters, like a lot, especially in the roles that have so few. When we're talking about the support role, like I know that they're going to introduce another support character, but realistically, that should have been what they should have primarily have been working on for the past 2 years of us not getting anything, is developing characters. Like, the full game needs to have at least 4 additional new supports, at least 3 new tanks, maybe 1 or 2 DPS, but that is what would really make the game feel fresh and exciting. It would balance out the queues. Of course, a ranked mode is going to be included in that as well. But right now, the game just feels like a big expansion. I mean, honestly, it feels not larger than a lot of the big expansions that have happened in other games. And I remember a long time ago, Left 4 Dead 2 really got the same criticism. When Left 4 Dead 2 dropped, a lot of people said, hey, this should have just been an expansion, and I more or less agreed. That didn't mean that I didn't like Left 4 Dead 2. I fucking loved that game. It's just similar in a way where it feels like the developers are painting this as a new thing because they want to get new people on board, they want to roll the new hype, they want to sell something new, and it doesn't deserve to be a new game. Like, honestly, if Overwatch just turned into this over the past 2 years, instead of being dropped and neglected for 2 years, I think that would have just been so much better for everyone. But rather, we get a 2-year gap into a game that feels like an expansion, and it's a little frustrating. And I think most of you probably agree with that. Even those of you who are really happy with it and passionate about Overwatch 2, you're still a little irritated that this is the way they went about it. But I really do think that in some ways they have dropped the ball with the casual audience. A lot of people, you know, there's many people, figureheads, people on Twitter, people like Donkey, talking about how this game just feels like the old game. And if you're gonna drop a beta, bring in all this hype, bring in all these drops, that's when you need to bring out all the stops. Like, if you're not going to have a lineup of all the things people have been asking for and blow away public perception, don't even drop the beta. I think that that is just clear, because most of us who have grinded this game for a while, we're fine and happy with a lot of the changes and the balance and the direction. If you gave us a comp mode, we'd be fucking happy. I know I'd be playing this shit every single day if I have a comp mode. But for the rest of the people, the casual audience, people that have played Overwatch before, but they haven't played it in a very long time, they're not gonna be on board with whatever this is, this Overwatch 1.5 or 1.1 or whatever you want to call it. They're not gonna be on board until the game feels fresh and different. And I just hope that they didn't miss the mark so hard this beta launch, that in the future, when they finally do deliver, which I think they are going to, they actually will be able to bring in all those people that initially took a glance and then were very, very disappointed. But I really want to pass the question off to you. How do you feel about Overwatch? How do you feel about Overwatch 2? And are you excited about it? Are you a little disappointed? And what do you think Blizzard is going to do from here? I really want to hear your opinion about all that down below. But use code MILFS20 at the Manscaped checkout for 20% off your order and free shipping. Do you and your partner a favor right now in the description down below.